Okay, before I can glue everything up, I do need to get the shock cord attached. So I'll put it through the centering ring here, and you can see the notch, and it's going to sit in that notch. And pull it through, and then tie your favorite knot on here. I usually use a slip knot. Sure it will slip through. There we go. It cinches down like that, nice and tight. Okay, so I'm going to put epoxy there and then slide this into it. Actually, I'm just going to tack glue it right now because later I'm going to slide this ring off and then put epoxy on the inside, and the epoxy will go down and get onto that ring. So I'm just tack gluing it for right now, and I'm using thick CA. I just want to keep it out of the shock cord as much as possible. So this is just kind of tack gluing it into place. Make sure it's nice and perpendicular. Oh man, that glue grabs good. There we go. If it's not perpendicular, it's not going to want to slide through the tube very well. So you can test it. Alright, so that slides good. And then on the back ring, this one's got to come off, so we're not going to tack glue it. But I do need to put this piece of Kevlar through here, and this you're going to have to get separately. I have some thin CA glue. Oops, got some on the table. And the reason for that is I want to cut it off here and get this big old wad off the front end. So I can take this and wind it, weave it through in and out. Okay, I'm going to tie these two ends together. Okay, so the side that goes towards the fins is going to be this side here. See, I want the fin to lay right through there. So that's the side that's going to go onto the tube like that. And then when we need to remove this ring, you can just grab all these loops right here, stick our fingers through it. Once it's inside the rocket, and we can wiggle it back and forth and yank it out. So this allows us to pull it right back out. So that's why we did that. But for now, let's stick this through here. There, come on. Doesn't want to go through all the way. It was getting hung up on the little burr on the inside of that hole for the rail button. Okay, so I can get this, stick this ring on. So now that ring, since I can kind of see through it, I know exactly where that ring is. And I'm going to be doing it like that. Then I'm going to take my fins, they're a little sloppy in those slots, and we're going to tack glue these into place. Now there's no glue up here on this front ring. I don't know if you can see my scuff marks, but they're right there, and then my ring is right in the middle, so I got that in a good spot. So I'm going to tack glue these on the bottom, but I want to keep the glue away from that back ring there. So this is thick super glue. Make sure that it's perpendicular to the tube, and I'll just hold it in place there until it grabs. If you're impatient, you can use your kicker. My spray bottles never want to come out. That's one fin. You can see I stopped there because I don't want to get anywhere close to that centering ring, because if I glue that centering ring in there, then I'm going to have to bust these out. Fortunately, it's just a little bit of super glue, so they would break out pretty easy. That one grabbed a lot nicer. Just double check them. Here's the last one. Okay, so all my fins are in. Now I'm going to pull this ring out. Oops, this little handle right here. Okay, so now that ring is out. And now in my next step, I'm going to put epoxy all inside of there, anywhere inside there. I'm going to use some, if these slots weren't so big, I'd use liquid epoxy, but there's a gap between my fin and the tube that I'm afraid that the epoxy will ooze out. So what I think I'm going to use is a stiffer epoxy, like the Aero epoxy, because it's more paste-like, and it probably won't come out of those crevices, and keep the outside looking nice. And I can also do at the same time the fillets on the outside, and I need to also put in my rail button. So I'm going to take this apart. And then this has to go into that hole there, and it's probably, let's stick it on a tongue depressor here. Just pop it through the hole like that. And then to keep it in place, I'm going to put the rail button on. Okay, like that, and then I'll put epoxy on that bottom side of that rail button too, so that stays in place. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up some epoxy, and then the next time we'll lay in those internal fillets so that this thing is built like a tank. So I'll see you next time.